we're here again with another catamaran site interview, this time with Mathias Maurios. Sorry if I got that wrong.
You got that right.
Oh, thank you, Mathias. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became involved with VPLP?
Sure. So my name is Mathias Maurios, and I'm a naval architect at VPLP Design. And I started with VPLP in 2000. So that will be 23 years ago in April. And today I am a partner in the firm, and I'm responsible for the cruising activity. And I am based in the Paris office.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the company itself, what you do, what the boats are.
So VPLP Design works on production boats, cruising production boats, both sailing and a little bit motor, racing boats, and one-offs. Most of our activity is production boats, but we also do quite a lot of racing boats. And when I say racing, it's both multi-hulls but also monohulls. And we have 3 offices based. We have one in Paris, where most of the cruising activity is concentrated. We have a second office in Nantes, where we also do a little bit of maritime workboat activity. And then finally one on the West Coast in Brittany, where most of the racing boats are designed. And VPLP has a workforce of about 37 people. Naval architects, obviously, designers, 3D modelers, and engineers. When I mean engineers, they are performance engineers, people that do calculations for predicting speed and stuff like that, and also structural engineers. Those engineers are working transversely on all the projects. That is production boat, cruising boats, and of course racing boats. And it is the same for the designers. They work on different projects. I mean, cruising, maritime, and racing, with, of course, obviously a little bit less involvement in the racing on the racing boats than on the cruising.
So that's very unique in a company that works with cruising boats. And I'm thinking specifically of the Lagoon. How has all that sort of cross expertise made the Lagoon the boat it is?
Well, for sure, our experience and in the racing on the racing boats, and the let's say the new technologies that we use on the racing boats, we try to bring it in the cruising on the cruising industry or activity. For instance, I remember some years ago, some of the lagoons started to have the mast further aft stepped, which and this was directly coming from the racing boats.
Okay, so what are some of the important considerations that come into mind when you're designing a cruising catamaran?
Well, I believe that the most important is to attentively consider the client by listening to him or her, to understand how the client will use and enjoy its boat, and that will this analyze will allow us to best integrate the constraints and bring the most suitable answers in terms of architecture, but also design, and of course naval architecture. And on a more let's say technical level, I would say that properly anticipating the weight and the weight distribution is a key element as well to consider for designing the best hull.
Right. We
As
went
you
around
know.
the world on a cruised around the world on a catamaran, and certainly weight was something we constantly had to take into account because we had a very low volume
Sure.
cat.
Yes.
But
Yes.
lagoons, I think, are very successful because you can correct me, because you really know your client. You know they're going to put
Exactly.
weight on the boats.
I mean, if we speak about more specifically about the lagoons, I think they've been has been successful because they've always been able to adapt quite perfectly to the evolution of the market by anticipating the demands of their client, both in charter fleets, for charter fleets and private owners. And knowing their clients, you know, and offering more inner and outer space, more and more luxury features, and the build quality as well at a relatively competitive price. And for instance, the first, I believe that the first flybridge catamaran, or the first flybridge appeared on a production cat, was the Lagoon 420, for instance. And on a purely stylistic point of view, I think VPLP has always managed to keep the proportions of the boats well balanced, while taking into account the constraints of the design brief, of course.
Right. So you've talked a little bit about how the catamaran design evolved a bit, but can you tell us where you think it's going to go in the next 10 years?
Where it's going to go in the next 10 years. I think that cats will continue and be even more popular in the future, because obviously of the space and stability they offer. And we will see as we have, and it will be even more, we will see more larger cats, and also certainly power catamarans, more electrical propulsion, you know, eco-friendly boats, thus electrical propulsion. I think we will probably see some simplification in the sail handling of the boats. For instance, I'm thinking of wing sails and stuff like that, you know, that are automated and do not require necessarily professional or specific sailing knowledge.
Wow.
Also, so as far as the rig is concerned, I think there will be some evolutions. And also for more performance boats, but not only. I think the appendages, and I'm thinking of foils, for instance. We will certainly see more and more of that. We've recently designed a 42 power catamaran called Aquila 42. And she has foils. They're not there to fly the boat, but they are there to reduce the fuel consumption and provide better comfort at sea, for instance. So I think that this will also, as far as the sailing cats are concerned, performance boats will have a certain type of foils, but not only performance boats, also cruising boats, not all of them, but we'll also see some, I think, some progress on that.
That sounds interesting. You brought up electric propulsion. Are you doing much work with electric propulsion right now, and how does it affect the designs?
Not right now, but we have more and more demand. If you think about fully electric, we have a project which I cannot mention here today in the pipeline of a fully electric catamaran. We have more and more clients on the one-offs side that are thinking and asking for diesel electric, for instance, and more solar panels. So yes, it is changing and it is moving in that direction.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, just pausing. I'm looking through my questions. What haven't we
Sure.
talked about that you'd like to talk about, specifically around the lagoon? Is there anything else you'd like to say about it?
Well, personally, I have been involved with the most recent models, the larger boats. I'm thinking of the 77 and 51 and 55. But at VPLP, VPLP Design has been involved in the design of all the lagoons since the creation of the brand, starting with the Lagoon 55 back in 1987. That's quite a while ago now. And since then, I believe that more than 6,000 units have been built of all the models, of course.
Right.
And today, I think they have 7 models ranging from 40 to 77 feet. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we certainly saw a lot of them out sailing around the world. They're beautiful, comfortable boats.
Yes.
Can you tell me, we'll just sign off then, how can people learn more about VPLP and learn more about one-off designs and that kind of thing?
They just better call me. No, there's quite a lot on our website. Of course, at vplp.fr. There's history and some boats and some concepts as well. We attend the Monaco Yacht Show every year in the end of September. At the end of September, and we also attend some other boat shows, but walking around usually. So some of the team is always available. The best is drop an email, of course, and we will always be glad to discuss any project, even the most crazy ones.
Right. That's so cool. Thank you so much, Mathias. I really appreciate you speaking with